Hello and welcome to Morris Park. I'm Clyde Morris. And today I've got a little retro video for you. Last week I did one on the 1984 Cactus and Succulent show that was put on at the LA County Arboretum by the San Gabriel Cactus and Succulent Society. What I didn't mention in that video was I used to live right down the street from the Arboretum, and I brought home my haul actually on my bicycle. And the place I'm going to do my video on today actually the same. I used to bring home all my plants on my bicycle, and this is a place I bought my plants from like 90% of the time. It was the only cactus and succulent nursery I'd ever been to back then, and back then it was called the Malini Desert Gallery, which now the Malini Desert Gallery is actually a line of like home decor products and so forth. This place is now called California Cactus Center and is operated by the same people. I used to deal with the gentleman who started this many years ago, and this has been, well, 38 years ago. And since that time, he's left it to his daughters, and they've done a wonderful job from what I can see on YouTube of keeping this place up and actually improving the place and kind of updating it. But I'd like to show you some of those plants that I still have all these years later from this cactus and succulent nursery. And those of you that are out in California, you might want to go by and check this place out. I don't think the phone number is the same, but I know the address is. Look this up on YouTube and you'll see it out there. And you can get an idea of what it is and all the great stuff they got, and maybe take a visit. Now this is actually a catalog from that time. This is one of their catalogs they had. As you can see. And that may be the phone number there, since area codes were updated and so forth since I got the card actually. But this is an old catalog. As I say, it's called California Cactus Center now. And let me see if I can open this up. And this is their catalog. I believe this would have been like 1984. And I really have these people to thank, actually. They really furthered my love for euphorbias. As you see here. And I've kept some of these euphorbias all these years. This is an actual photo from back then. I believe these are euphorbia ingens. They're kind of in a back corner there. But anyhow, let's take a look at some of these plants. This is a Euphorbia decarii, variety of Spider Stitcha. When I first got this, it wasn't much more than a couple of these little stems. Two of these little stems. And now as you see, it's grown into this big, beautiful plant. It's all in bloom. You can see little bell-shaped flowers all over it. Actually, those are the bracts that surround the flowers. But this is actually a larger plant than you see here, and I'll show you here. I gave one that was about half this size to my sister, actually, for her birthday last year. And I've got a few others started. Not to mention, I've kind of sent this one around the world, too. I've given this to a few people around the world. And so it's kind of everywhere. This is another one I have planted up here. I love the little tiny crinkled leaves on these. Flower up in there. These are from Madagascar. And they're real awesome and real easy to grow. I don't really know why they haven't become more popular as easy as they are. Another dish I've got started of them. This is an Espostoa Milano Estelle, and it's kind of grown and had some stems die over the years, so it's kind of been up and down. It's got one there, it looks like it may be getting old and ready to come off. But I've had this about 38 years now. It's done very well. A little Perodia there in bloom. But yeah, another one from California Cactus Center, as well as the Echinocactus Ingens back there. That was very tiny when I first got it from them. And it was in a tight pot for a lot of years, so it didn't grow a whole lot. I kind of kept it back. And then I put it in this arrangement so everybody could kind of spread out. Also, this Euphorbia myli, var imbrete. It's a miniature variety of the actual regular Euphorbia myli. When I got this one, it was also just a little stem. A couple of little stems, actually about 2 stems that big. Proving a great grower. Kind of makes like a little bush. I like it better actually than the type species because it's not so rambling. It forms a nice tight little bush. Another one here is my Eublemania pectinifera. Now this has been grafted 3 times. When I bought it, it was grafted about the size of a golf ball. And then it used up the Myrtillocactus geometris in stock, and it just kind of buckled underneath it and wouldn't support it anymore. So I grafted it to an Echinopsis. And as it got bigger, it used up the Echinopsis in the same manner. It just kind of collapsed over. So I had to graft it to this Stenoserius prenosus, something that wouldn't quite collapse. And this is absolutely huge. It's a great big one. I know a lot of people out there probably saying, oh, it's hideous. I hate those things when they're grafted. But it's about the only way I can keep one here in the Ozarks, because this greenhouse gets pretty cool, and the roots on this will probably never make it. And this enables me to keep this all these years. And as I say, when I bought it, it was grafted. This is my Euphorbia submammillaris. Variety is Forsdorfii. And I bought this when it was in like a little 4-inch pot. I believe this one's about 40 years old now. It's got to be quite a huge clump back there, as you see. Very awesome plant. And this is my Euphorbia polygona. Now this probably would be bigger if I hadn't kept it in a tight pot for many years. And it keeps on growing these little shoots from the bottom. But that's about 38 years old. And this big 40-year-old Euphorbia seriformis. This one's been the mother of a few of my hybrids. But I got these from California Cactus Center all those years ago. I'm going to show this one. And even though it didn't come from California Cactus Center, it wouldn't be here without them. I'd bought a Euphorbia stellata from California Cactus Center many years ago, and it ended up, the caudex ended up rotting, and I saved one branch of it and had it growing. And then pollinators in my greenhouse actually pollinated flowers on the branch. And this was the result. This is my Euphorbia enigma, and as you see, it's not like a regular stellata, having 3 and 4 angled branches, starting out at as flat branches. See, and then they go into 3 and 4 angled branches. This is actually, I figured out a hybrid between this and my Euphorbia evansii. And my Evansii also came from California Cactus Center. Let's look at some others. This is my Euphorbia zigzag. I didn't get this from there, but the mother of this was from California Cactus Center. So without that, it wouldn't be here. In 1986, after moving here, the branch cutting plant, this wasn't a natural plant like this, not a seed plant. The branch cutting plant produced seed, and this was the result. It's a nice compact plant. I've always loved this one. Very thorny, wicked looking. Also, my Euphorbia Evansii. This is a tree euphorbia. It has to be done by the two-step method like many euphorbias. I bought this as a cutting plant, and it just kept getting longer and longer. This cutting plant I got from California Cactus Center. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with instructions about the two-step. I had to learn this from the Euphorbia Journal. But in doing the two-step cutting method, I turned this plant into a wonderful tree. And this was from the California Cactus Center. Now, last but not least, is this little oldie here. In fact, actually, this isn't the last. I'll have one more to show you. This oldie here is Mammillaria Hahneana. Now, when I bought this, it was about 6 inches tall. And it was sitting right out in the front lot before you actually walk into the main part of the nursery. In full bloom, and I had to have it. Took it home on my bicycle. But over all the years, it's gone kind of a wild caterpillar here. And most of the time I take mine and brace them up and put them in a cage. So I don't do this. But I didn't do this with this one. I just kind of let it do its thing. And it's been growing all over the place, crazy, for quite a while. Actually, yesterday I just replanted it and decided to give it some nice digs and give it some good support, because it's always been leaning on another pot as I've had it. And so I wanted to give it a better place, a little nicer place, because it is a nice old plant, and it blooms faithfully every single year. Mammillaria Hahneana. And this is 40 years old. Still alive and well. Okay, now this is the last one. And this is my Euphorbia opuntoides. As you can see, it's just everywhere. It's in bloom right now. And this plant has the habit of either growing these flat opuntoid-like branches or three-angled branches also. I actually have a hybrid growing of this right now between this and enormous. So an opuntoides crossed with a Euphorbia enormous. And that ought to be pretty cool. They're growing pretty nicely right now. But yeah, this one's about 38 years. Anyhow, just wanted to show you all these very cool plants I have all these years later. Oh, wait a minute, there is one more. I just spotted it. One more. Oh, this one's kind of covering. I'll bring this down. This is an Adromyschus, and I forget the exact species. But on one of our little tours there one day, my stepdad was with me, and he liked this, and he bought this when it was quite small, like in about a 2-inch pot or something like that. It was pretty small, and I still have it too all these years later. Got a couple dead leaves to pick off there, but nonetheless, a very cool plant. Seems to grow from these really thickened stems, almost like caudex. But anyhow, that's it. This is all the plants I still have from the California Cactus Center. So guys, if you live out that way or in a neighboring state, you're just going to tour Southern California for any reason, stop in there. They have some really great stuff in there, really cool plants, rarities, all kinds of stuff in there. Look them up on YouTube. You'll get to see what they have. Pretty cool. This is Clyde Morris from Morris Park. Take care.